Hello everyone, I hope all is well. Thanks for joining me. We're on the learning journey and some ideas that I'll share. I want feedback on it. What are your thoughts? Thinking of returning to Jamaica? That's a possibility. And if you're thinking about returning to Jamaica or have returned to Jamaica, share in the comment section what it is like or what your planning entails. It's important for the community to work together. Many people are posting about returning to Jamaica. Some have returned to Jamaica, but I want to take you down a critical line. Not one that is filled with hype, but one that allows you to think critically about the context. So why are so many Jamaicans trying to come back to Jamaica? Even people who are not connected by birth are seeking to come to Jamaica. So what's happening? There's an economic boom. There's possibilities out there that has to do with the living conditions. So let's go deeper. But let me also say that many Americans, you know what I mean, are also trying to leave America, and we have to ask why. Many are going to places that they're more fitting according to them, for example, Europe, and some might go to other places. But the bottom line is Jamaicans are not the only ones trying to head out of the United States or who have done so already. So let's go into some of the details. Now let us look at what's happening. The cost of living in the United States has gone up significantly. For example, an item that I bought for $16 in 2 or 3 years, it is now $22. So living in America has become very expensive, and the salary has not increased. Not to mention gas price at this current moment. I've never paid $65 to fill my tank. It was normally between $35 and $40. Yes, a small tank, but now I'm having to pay that amount. So there are serious considerations happening here. So the reality is your salary is not stretching, and that has implications. You have rent, you have so many expenses taking place, and that is why many people are saying, you know what? If I return home or find somewhere else, I'll be better off. And that is what many people are thinking of. Now, when it comes on to quality of life, that is significant. You go to Jamaica and you're feeling relaxed. You can sit under a mango tree if it's mango time, or under a coconut tree, have a coconut jelly or something of that sort, or go to the beach. Here it's consistently moving because you know what? Bills need to be paid. So many individuals are thinking about really coming back to Jamaica to have that space to relax, to have a more laid back lifestyle. Now, you've run around the country, have worked hard, and many have toiled in snow, and I had to go to work even just to ensure that they survive. Some people are working to pay bills. So just to know that you can go at a different pace and relax and still enjoy life is important. Remember, there's always a saying that you could have someone next door to you for years, and you never know that person at all until the person dies, and then you see someone coming in to take that body out. That's just America in some cases. In a country that you're growing up and you realize that you have no connection to the system here, you realize that there's something necessary for you to go back. Go back to. You don't want to fuse your identity with the American culture to an extent. I'm not talking about integration. I'm talking about core family values that we brought to this country. We brought up the family value of going to church, understanding, caring for people, having a sense of community. In America, that is not really so. You could meet someone and not make that connection. And the need for connection is so important. One research stated that for long life, it's so important to have social connections. And I'm citing the study right here because I want people to understand what I talk about is research-based too. And for individuals seeking that connection and that identity, it's important. Good friends allow you to live longer. And that's a reality because you have your social interaction, your connections with them. So as I'm doing this video, I want you to understand that there are so many reasons why people are going back. Yes, and people want to connect to the language. They want to connect to the food. They want to connect with a community that they once grew up with. People have asked me, Rohan, how do you look so relaxed when you're in Jamaica? I'm feeling relaxed because I'm not thinking about those things that constrain me back in the United States. I won't even go into them. There are so many. But I'm not saying that it's not a place that you can learn from. It's a place that you learn from, and if you choose to stay, that's up to you. But I'm just giving you some reasons why people would want to go back to Jamaica, and even if they have no connections by birth, still see that place as their home. Now, you've worked hard. You've worked for 20 years, 25 years, and you realize at this point in time, do you want to continue? Do you want to continue on the same road and say, all right, wait for another $300 on that retirement? Or do you want to go back now? So I think when people are ready to retire, or they realize that they can survive on their retirement plans and investment, they also decide, you know what, what's the sense in staying for $200? And then they decide to go back. So when we think about that, people are making those choices because they're now independent. They can survive on the money in Jamaica. They might choose to work longer here if they are going to be living here, but notwithstanding, the call is made because they realize when they check their balances out, they can survive in Jamaica. So they are reaching financial independence as it relates to their retirement. Now, the world is now a digital platform. Everyone is able to connect digitally. And because of this, people can make these connections to ensure that they are able to work. So the opportunity for remote work and digital spaces as it relates to work opportunities is now open for the Caribbean. So you have many individuals returning to Jamaica to work online, and they are okay. They are employed by countries abroad. And hopefully the Jamaican system and the government will see this not just as an income earner for the Jamaican society, but also as a way to ensure that we improve our services as people come in, or taxes are flowing in, and then we can spend generously on improving healthcare, which seems to be an issue that I'll address further in this presentation. The landscape of America has changed drastically. The opportunities that Jamaicans would normally have somewhat disappeared. And that is because of policies from top coming down. So what we have is that individuals who are in positions are now being squeezed out, or they don't have the opportunity. I'm not going to get into that political landscape because America has moved certain protections. Even if they work hard and warrant that opportunity, sometimes they don't want that to take place within today's context. Hopefully it will change. Now, having said all of those, and those points are important, we have to look further. We have to look deeper into the elements of not everything that you see in Jamaica. No, you say you're ready to go and you're just going to go like that. You really have to think about some things carefully before you do that. I don't want you to romanticize coming to Jamaica. It requires work. It requires planning. It requires a set of cultural skills that you need to ensure that you have before you're ready. And I've done some videos regarding that before, and you will see them tagged. So you have to understand, are you ready for the Jamaican sort of culture where you go into a bank and you ask to add a name to a bank account and it takes you practically the whole day? Or you want a card to be changed in a bank and it takes you another 8 hours. That's possible because I've seen that. There are some things that we need to address in Jamaica. But I want you to understand that if you're going to Jamaica, it's not going to be a run into the bank and out of the bank just like this. Unless you know someone, and that is not how things should operate within a system that is going to be taking you in. Sometimes there are going to be some limitations and expectation of quality of service that you might not see. You just have to be ready for that. And keep calm. Does it make sense that you stir things up because Jamaicans will say, look at you over there, they're not going to serve you, and you'll be waiting even longer. Now, if you have the money to squeeze someone, that's how the society operates. Sorry to say that, but that's the reality of Jamaica. So understanding when to squeeze someone something in their hand is a possibility navigating the space. Or else, you might just wait the whole day. That is a system that I don't want, but that's a reality on the ground. Sorry for saying that, but that's the truth. So if you're returning to Jamaica, you have to think about the logistics. How are you going to do healthcare? How are you going to budget for a car? Where are you going to live? All these things are important. However, if you're planning a couple of years down the line and you have property or land or whatever, it's good to have these things settled before you use your investment funds to fund them, unless you have a wagga wagga of money. I think it's good to have these assets down first before you think about moving. So at least remember, if you move to Jamaica, You're going to be on a fixed income if you're living off your pension and investments. And sometimes it's best to have these things out of the way before you actually decide to go in. You must have these things because it will come and be a major expense for you. For example, getting a car, movements, and so forth. And you might want to also consider your long-term care. If you're going to be in Jamaica, how are you going to care for yourself? Do you have relatives around? And I've always said living near people you know, it's good. Or living in a gated community with people that you know you can socialize with, it's also good. Even another area that you have a community sort of feel is good, because these individuals will ensure that you're all right. Jamaica is a wonderful place, a community spirit, and if they don't see you turn out of your house one morning, they'll come and knock you up and say, you all right? They'll do that. But you have to understand the culture and live with people and be respectful. You have to think about your sustenance in Jamaica. Will your pension allow you to live an all right life? Will your savings and all these things? So the planning is important. I've asked people several times, what is the average amount of money that you think you could survive on? Some people have given me 250,000. Some have given me 150. The highest I've heard thus far on YouTube has been roughly close to 600,000 living in Kingston. It all depends on your lifestyle. I can't tell you. Another thing you might want to get is your own solar system to reduce that cost of electricity. If you get these things out, then you have basic utility to take care of your internet, your water, and if you're owning your home, you're set. Think about family adjustment too. It's important you know how you're going to adjust with families around, or how your families you're leaving to go back to Jamaica will adjust. These are important factors that you have to understand. If there are younger children involved and you're both making, your spouse and you are making that transition to Jamaica, you have to think about the transition into different educational learning spaces. That is important because you want the transition to be seamless. You want them to ensure that they're maximizing their potential. And remember, I'm going to go a bit deeper because I'm an education person. You want to ensure that if your child has a special education need that needs to be evident in Jamaica, that you articulate and find the necessary services for that individual. Those are essential factors that you have to consider. And before you decide to jump and go to Jamaica, think about having yourself stay there for a while, understanding the culture if you don't. For me, I go back and forth because I'm a Jamaican. I'll always be a Jamaican, right? So I've enjoyed the trail of meeting more people, making my connections, networking with people, doing presentations in Jamaica and so forth. And that is why I think I created this video, because it's my critical reflection before moving back. You have to be ready for the transition. Transition is not just jump and go. It's thinking about the process. So you won't be left in a situation that you said, if me did know. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe. Give me your feedback if you transited to Jamaica or are planning to do that, so the others can learn from you too. Thanks. Goodbye.